Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jim Master Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Variety Talk Show Series. How is everybody doing today? So great to have you here. As we always say, we're full of energy here on the Jim Master Show Live with great entertainment, poignant moments, poignant conversations, lots of surprises, and guests that come in from all around the world and all kinds of different backgrounds: Broadway, Hollywood, television, film, music, stage, culinary arts, sports, comedy, all of it to entertain, inspire, and connect with all of you. We say hello to our JMS Lovity family, the Lovity Squad. That's our dedicated viewers who watch from around the world. And we're constantly getting more and more new viewers and those who are tuning in, falling in love with what we're doing here. And we really appreciate that. I'm your host, Jim Masters. Busy day today. Was on the radio all day, had a television shoot, and then we're planning for television work that's going to take me straight across the United States to Sacramento, California, and Chico, California, the latter part of next week. And then we're headed to Reno, Nevada. We're going to a horse farm. Gonna be riding a horse. It's going to be really cool for a couple of television shoot projects. And the week after, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So it's busy around here. And of course, we're here with all of you to entertain you and welcome you to the Jim Masters Show, where we're bringing back the lost art of conversation. How's everybody doing? I hope you've been enjoying all these great episodes. We've reached, as of today, something like 801, 802 shows, which is amazing for the amount of time. And they've been just fantastic. We really appreciate all the comments, all the lovity. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Jim Masters TV. Feel free to connect. And also, our JMS Lovity chat room is open and available right now. What is that? The chat room where you can actually chat amongst yourselves, chat with each other, say hello right now to other viewers, and we might even sprinkle some of your comments right here on the screen during the show. That's right. If you want to go the extra mile, we have super chat, super emoji, super stickers. Those are things that are in the live chat room that you can do, help support our series as well. But again, we've had so many incredible guests who've come in from all around the world and from different levels of celebrity and different fields of endeavor. And it's just extraordinary. We have somebody joining us from Nashville, Tennessee, who is a real source of fantastic inspiration. And you're going to really have a good time. We've got music coming up for you as well. Some great music, some great conversation. And she has a new book out that's going to really fire you up, literally, in a cool way. Carol Grace Anderson is here. She's a singer and a songwriter extraordinaire, motivational speaker, author extraordinaire, as well as a motivational expert and author of the popular book, Get Fired Up Without Burning Out. She also has an inspiring story in the million-selling chicken soup for the college soul. Growing up, she grew up in a tiny 18-foot trailer surrounded by circus performers, and she knew life would be quite interesting and fun. In fact, Carol has had so much fun that she actually flunked out of 3 colleges. That is a lot of fun. But when she decided to buckle down, she earned her BA degree in psychology and her master's in counseling psychology at New York University. This former psychology teacher, as well as talented performer, has worked with many entertainment legends. Yes, some of the greats as well. And we're going to talk. She's worked with, there's Roy Clark. Yes. Willie Nelson. And there she is getting some makeup from the Tonight Show. Yes. Yeah. Remember we talk about the Tonight Show and Carson and all. Singer Mickey Dolenz, of course, from the Monkees. There's Pee Wee Herman and Pat Boone and Jimmy Buffett. I mean, these are just some of the folks she's had an opportunity to work with. Peter Bogdanovich, of course, and David Allan Coe. These are really incredible people. Hee Haw, too. Even Hee Haw. She was on Hee Haw. Did you know that? Mm-hmm. We got a lot of photos. We're just sprinkling a few of them here. There's Lady Smith in New York and Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. Yeah, she's been doing this for a long time. And here is her book, which is absolutely incredible. Get Fired Up Without Burning Out. We're going to tell you about that. This is really a fantastic motivational book. A little bit more about wonderful Carol. Isn't that a great shot? That's somebody who really appreciates and loves life. As I mentioned, she's worked with many entertainment legends, including Johnny Cash, Faye Dunaway, Roy Clark, Willie Nelson, Sandra Bullock, and Jimmy Buffett. What powerful stories she shares, too. And just like many. Carol has overcome some big life challenges, from growing up in that tiny trailer to going blind in one eye, losing her younger sister to breast cancer. She learned how to turn struggle into strength. Carol's dynamic presentations also, because she does workshops and speaking, they show you how to get fired up and to thrive through it all like never before. After all, she wrote a book about it, and that is the book right there. It's incredible. You're going to want to get that book. But before that, we welcome everybody. If you would like to comment during the actual show in the chat room, here's something you could do right now. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. When you subscribe to the YouTube channel, we got a lot of comments already here. Thanks for all the enthusiasm. When you subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is Jim Masters TV, it's the channel you're watching right now, you get to it's a free gift. Doesn't cost anything to subscribe to a YouTube channel. You get to comment during the actual show in the JMS Levity chat room. It's a little bonus. It's something that is a gift for all of the folks who click that red subscribe button. Be sure and do that. Hit that subscribe button. It looks like that. So you can get all these episodes. And don't forget to click the notification bell so you never miss any of the episodes of the Jim Masters Show series here on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. So, lots of comments. Thanks, gang. I love this enthusiasm. This is really cool. Let's take you now to Nashville, Tennessee, where Carol Grace has said it's absolutely beautiful there right now. Really, really stunning and beautiful. And she's going to grace us with her fabulous presence right now from Nashville. Carol, welcome to the Jim Masters Show. It's so wonderful to have you here, Carol Grace. Welcome.
Thank you. It's so good to be here and to see you, Jim, one-on-one.
Yes.
Show, and I think it's fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
I'm so glad to be here with you, even though it's virtual.
It is virtual, but I tell you, the way things are now with technology, it's almost as if we are in the same room. Beautiful room that you're in there in Nashville. I love that room. Is that like the living room area?
Yeah, living and dining room table. I'm kind of leaning on the dining room table, and that's our living room behind me.
Very nice.
All around, so we call this the tree house.
That's the tree house. I love that. So what came first for you, Carol Grace? The singer, songwriter, entertainer, performer, or all of this incredible psychology and motivational and inspirational background?
My parents were in the ministry, and they would go to these meetings and youth meetings, and they would drive all around the country in their little Chevy, and my sister Lynn and I would be sitting in the back seat. And so they'd be singing in harmony, and then Lynn and I would join in, and that's how I learned how to sing harmony, because I could hear that third part was missing, so I would jump in. Sang a lot during my dad's meetings, and then he had a live TV show. It was called Life's Lighthouse, and that was out of Newark, New Jersey, and everything back then was live.
Yes.
So, what a challenge.
Yeah.
And so that's where my musical influence came. My mother was a piano teacher and also the church organist and choir director, and my dad was a great singer. So I grew up with that music, really.
So music. Well, what kinds of music was there? Gospel? What was it that was in the house? Was there country?
There was gospel. There was classical, because my mother was really a fabulous pianist. And so I would hear all kinds of music, but for some reason, I just loved gospel and blues and country. Those were my favorites.
Wow.
And after the trailer park days, we moved, which that was a fun scene because our neighbors were circus performers. Because they all had tiny trailers too.
Yeah.
To travel around to different circuses.
Now, did you learn any of it? Did you learn to juggle or do any of those things?
No, but it was so fun after school to just walk up and down the rows of these small trailers, and the people inside were the performers. So they'd go outside to their little patio to practice. So two of our friends were twins, and their names were Barbara and Betty Merkel. And after school, they would put up this tightrope and practice right there in front of their trailer. And their brother, Ronnie, would kind of watch for them. to
Yeah.
catch them if need be. And then down the street a little more were the Brewsters, and they were professional roller skaters.
Oh,
And they
wow.
would put a round table out on their patio and skate on it in circles until she would be going so fast that it was her feet were flat out, her white skates. And I thought, how do they do that? And another guy, this older man, would wear a fedora, and he had this stainless steel ladder and a chihuahua on his shoulder, and he would climb that ladder that was leaning against nothing. He was balancing. And I thought, looking back, what a metaphor for life. You know, don't we all feel like we're walking a tightrope sometimes?
Yes.
Don't
yes.
we wish we could get out of this wild circle and kind of slow down? And then how about the guy who had real balance to be able to get up there with a chihuahua on his shoulder?
I tell you.
So,
Huh?
it was quite interesting.
Just to be able to say Chihuahua is a feat.
Right.
So you had that sort of creative, artsy inspiration sort of all around you. You had music surrounding you as well. Were you curious about people and what makes them tick? And were you always observing people as a kid and sort of soaking it all up?
Yes. And my older sister, Lynn, who became a family therapist and a great one, a licensed clinical social worker. So she had a wonderful, wonderful years, many wonderful years, helping so many other people. And with her studying psychology, and I came a few years behind her, but we were always talking about behavior and psychology, and it just became something that was important to me. And then I just thought, well, I think I will study something that will help me understand sociology and psychology and try to do something with it. So I did. I became a teacher. And in fact, it was in New York at PS 155. And that was one of the hardest jobs I ever had, because I wasn't planning really to be an educator, but I wanted to go into counseling.
Mhm.
But after 1 year of that, I said, this is too sad. These kids could hardly, they put all the troubled kids in one class. That was mine. And so from there,
They thought you could handle it because you grew up in the with the trailer and all the circus. So they thought you could somehow juggle the situation.
and from there, I went to Mid-Hudson, which was a correctional facility for male felons. And I taught Psych 101. It was kind of like that life skills kind of thing. I did that for 5 or 6 years, and I enjoyed that very much, except I was getting burned out. I was seeing the same guys come back over and over again, and I thought, something's not right. Something is not working.
Right.
So I had to take care of myself, being so burnt out, hoping and wishing I could fix everybody. So I started to get music going. I thought, well, I love to sing. That would be a nice way to have balance.
Absolutely.
And so I got my sister and my dear friend, Sharon Ferrara, and her sister, and we formed Ladysmith. So most of the music we did was country music.
Yes.
Because after the trailer park, we moved upstate to Godefroy, New York. Are you familiar with Godefroy?
Where is Godefroy?
It's between Huguenot and Cuddybackville. How about that?
Of course it is. And there's Ladysmith on the screen. I don't know if you see the screen. There are you guys. Are you in the middle?
I'm on the right playing keyboard.
Oh, that's you. Wow. When was this photo taken, you think?
You know, I don't know. It was before we moved here. It had to be maybe around 73. And we were playing the fair in Middletown, New York.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So what was that experience like? Did you enjoy that?
Loved it. We only could play on weekends, but it was so nice to just have some fun. We really did it for fun. And then we got some gigs. In fact, we became regulars at Lunny's Pub in New York. And it was so interesting to see what people would come there. So
yes,
one night, I'll never forget, we're playing just, things like Hank Williams and all that. And there was a gentleman sitting at the bar staring at us and saying, "Hey, can you play jambalaya? We go, sure. And it happened to be Kurt Vonnegut.
Wow.
He wanted to hear jambalaya. So we just had so much fun just playing country music in New York City.
Wow. Isn't that incredible, huh?
Yep.
So how long did Ladysmith last as a group, the three?
Okay. Well, we started writing our own songs. And we would take them to New York and into the city from upstate New York and knock on doors, you know, the Brill Building and the whole thing.
Oh, yes.
You know, and so finally somebody said, you know, you girls are really good writers. You ought to go take yourself to Nashville. We said, well, we don't know anybody in Nashville. They said, well, we do. So they set up a meeting with what is now Warner Chapel Music.
Oh, yes.
We heard who was running the place, and he signed us right away.
Wow.
So we decided after a few months, if we are serious, we've got to take a risk and move in Nashville, be where the action is. So
that's when you did the move. So you've been in Nashville for a good while now, huh? Established there.
Yes. Yep.
Wow.
Never looked back. And my family, you know, I miss them so much. We get together every time we can. But
are you still an East Coast girl a little bit at heart?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
You miss the ocean at all?
I do. We used to go to LBI, Long Beach Island, New Jersey.
Yes. Yeah. That's a great spot.
Yes, it's wonderful. So yes, I still love New York. I really do. And I miss my family, you know, my brother and sister and all the nieces and nephews and all that.
Yeah.
But this is where the work was.
Right.
And this is, you know, we would sing with David Allan Coe. We met him.
Yes.
Met Johnny Cash.
There's David. Were you with David Allan Coe? What was that experience like?
That was a trip, a real trip. What happened was the publisher who had recommended us here in Nashville was in town working with Johnny Cash, and he wanted to take us all out to dinner. We said, "Oh, that'd be great." He said, "But I'm running late. Can you meet me at the studio?" We said, "Okay." So we go into the studio. And Johnny Cash is in the booth, and there's on the couch in the kind of the part where the engineer sits was this hulking figure.
Yeah.
And he said, "Hi, I'm David Allan Coe."
Wow.
He said, "What do you girls do?" He said, "Oh, we have a little band called Ladysmith." He said, "Oh, I'm looking for a band to go on tour."
Wow.
So that's what happened there. And then we got to meet Johnny Cash. And in fact, we wrote him a song, and we became friends, and he sent us a belt buckle each that said, "Johnny Cash is a friend of mine."
Oh, wow. Here's a great shot of all of you together as Ladysmith early on. Who are the other folks that are joining you? The names of the other compatriots.
Okay, so on the left is Sharon Ferrara, then me, my sister Mary Beth, and Cordy, who is Sharon's sister. So it was two sisters.
Now, were you guys in the recording studio? Did you lay down tracks? Is there music that people could dig out and find and get today?
Not really. It was before we really had, you know, access to a lot of things. We did a lot of demos.
Yeah.
And in fact, we were on Columbia, which was at the time Epic Records.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
For about 11 minutes. Because the head of it said, "Oh, you girls are great. We're going to sign you." And David Allan Coe says, "Okay, well, I'm producing them." He goes, "No, you're not. You're an artist. You can't." So he said, "Okay, they're off the label." So we were on a big major label for about 11 minutes.
Tough. Boy, you didn't even get the extra, 3 for the 15 minutes of fame? They cut it at 11 with that? With Ladysmith? How dare they?
A bummer.
But you continued forging forward, right? You got, you know, you
Cordy got married to a picker, and she left to start a family. So it ended up being the three of us. And then Sharon started a sound company, Moonlight Sound. Then it ended up to be my late sister, Mary Beth, and me. So we would be on the road with Roy Clark, with Alex Harvey.
There you are in Vegas with Roy Clark.
Yep.
Now, what was that like?
That was so fun.
Yeah.
Because
He
we
seemed
did two.
like somebody that was just fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally fun. What a gentleman. And, he would do 2 sold out shows every night
Yeah.
when we were there. And we had fun opening acts. Tammy Wynette sometimes would be opening, and
Yeah.
Glenn Campbell and Reba McEntire.
Any Loretta Lynn at all?
No, we did some shows that she was on, but it
Yeah.
wasn't like a package show like that.
Right. Yeah. What a great shot that is, and what a great opportunity, huh?
Thank you. That was a gift that he gave us all Manuel suits. So those are all custom Manuel. Remember hearing about Manuel, who does all these?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So,
really amazing.
yeah, that was
That's
very nice.
even Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? That that must have been something great, huh?
Yes.
Were you daydream believing a little?
Luckily, we knew his songs
Yeah.
because we were touring with Roy Clark, and he was on the bill too. And he said,
Wow.
"Oh, girls, can you come and sing backup with me?" We go, "Sure." So we sat in this backstage area just to run through a few things and
Yeah.
and he was terrific, I must say. I didn't know what to think. I go, boy, he put on a great show. He really,
Yes, he's got a bundle of energy, isn't he?
yes,
He
very
really,
nice guy.
yes. Look at this. Pee Wee Herman and Pat Boone. What a cross section of Americana.
Exactly. There was some event going on at the Opry House. It was some big gala of something. And I was there because I was also still working with Roy Clark. And so
Yeah.
I'm going down the hallway, and there I see these 2 standing together. I said, "Excuse me, do you mind if I get a picture with you guys?" He said, "No, go ahead." And I thought, talk about a trio.
That's a real, yes. And another trio here with
Uh-huh.
Roy Rogers and Dale Evans.
Yes, because he came to do Hee Haw. And
That's
I was on
right.
Hee Haw for 10 years. And in fact, I
That's right.
had
10 years, right? So what years were you on Hee Haw?
from 1980 to 1990.
Wow.
Uh-huh. And we would sing just when Roy Clark was there with his band. When he was coming out solo,
And you're
that's
there
when,
on the left, right? Are
yeah,
you the one that's sort of front of the 3 ladies that are there? Are you the one that's more, are you the one on the right?
yes,
Yes.
big
Yeah.
hair. Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
But that was the 80s and 90s,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Exactly. But
exactly.
that always looked like a fun show. Like everybody had a lot of fun on that series,
It was
Hee Haw.
so much fun. And I got to do a comedy character on there who is from Brooklyn, and she's a country music big fan. And so
Yeah.
they had me do this character on Hee Haw.
Yeah,
I'm,
because they
I'm
would
like,
have all these funny, different skits and different things,
exactly,
kind of like Saturday Night Live does. Hee Haw was doing that earlier with some of these, they'd have music and then they would have transitional skits and
exactly.
comedy. And wasn't Minnie Pearl on there a little bit too?
Oh, yes, a
How
lot.
do?
It's howdy.
It always looked like it was a fun show and like a family. It had like a family sort of
Yeah,
feel to it. Buck Owens too
yeah,
was
yeah,
there, and that's really, really cool. Here's another great one with Roy and George Jones and yeah, tell
Mel.
us everybody here.
Yep, that was on tour in Canada.
Wow. So you've
Mhm.
got Roy and George Jones, and next to you is
Mel Tillis.
that's Mel. That's right.
Mel Tillis.
You're right there amongst a trio of lots of years of talent. That must have been cool, huh?
Oh,
They
it was so,
welcomed you right into the fold.
yeah, it was
Wow.
very fun, I must say.
Yeah,
It-
huh?
yeah.
Now you mentioned early on growing up in the trailer park with the circus people. There you are growing up, and there's the trailer.
Yep. That was our
Now,
18-foot trailer with my mom, dad, my sister Lynn, and me all living in there. They had public restrooms and public laundry. And in fact, it's still there. It's in
is it?
Moonaki. Uh-huh. The trailer park is still there. See, now that's when we moved into a 30-foot trailer, which, most RVs are bigger than that. And
Right.
that's us when we had the piano and the Christmas tree, and that was the whole thing. That was the whole living room, den, and dining room.
Now, how did in the beginning, I mean, you're an extremely successful person and, you've worked very hard, you've done very well, you've inspired a lot of people through music and through your work in psychology and as a speaker and an author. Now some people may say, oh, that must have been horrific. People who have never lived in that type of environment, that must have been cramped. And why didn't you have the big sprawling house and all these other things? But I bet there are certain things in terms of the closeness with the family where, I mean, now you can have that house and the kids are up in that room, the other kids in that room, this one's down here, and nobody communicates. Everybody's texting and on the computers and everything else. There, you really, other than the TV and the radio, you had to communicate. Did growing up in the trailer have some certain beauty to it that made you who you are today?
Yes, for years I thought everybody lived on wheels. 'Cause why not? All our neighbors and everyone, our cousins. So it just seemed very natural, and we were very close. You had to be. And it was close, I must say. But I don't have any regrets of, or any bad feelings about living in that trailer park. Now, we drove by a couple of years ago. My sister Lynn and I drove through it just to see it. And it's still there on 103 Moonachie Avenue, right next to Teterboro Airport. It's still there.
Teterboro, yeah. Isn't it amazing? So how do you feel when you go by it? Is there certain tingle? Does it bring you back a little bit when you see it?
Yeah, I mean, there's the same main buildings, and it's just the trailers have gotten longer.
Yeah.
A lot of them were
Oh,
like
now
8 feet.
they're almost like modular homes now.
Yeah,
These days, they're really, they're absolutely something else. I have a friend, actually, he and his wife, their kids are grown and out, and they're in one, and they invited us over. It's like a house. You don't even, and it's considered a trailer, but it's an advanced, upgraded version in this park area. Beautiful area, landscaped, everything. And the minute you step in, any thought that you're in a trailer is totally erased. The thing is
right.
it's like a ranch house
Hmm.
the way they are now.
Well, this trailer park is really not on that level, I must say. It's
This
gone
this
way down, and it was pretty low to begin with.
this this
But
was,
we
yeah,
had fun, But now it's just really hasn't been well kept up, and it's
yeah, different,
sad, really.
diff-
It
yeah.
seemed fun when we were there,
When you're a kid, it's an adventure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
I talked about the one and only Jimmy Buffett too, huh? So tell
yeah.
us Jimmy, of course, in the middle, and who else is with you?
That's my late sister Mary Beth on the left,
That
and me
is
on
her.
the right. And we were on tour, and Roy Clark was doing a celebrity golf tournament. And so there were all kinds of different artists there, including Jimmy Buffett. And he said, "Oh, I need a singer. Can you sing?" We go, "Sure." I mean, who wouldn't know Margaritaville?
I was going to say, did he take you to Margaritaville?
No, we're still on tour, and boom, off to the next
And
town.
he's still going and he's still performing and he still sells out and he's just an authentic, casual, real guy. It's I think that's what people gravitate to Jimmy Buffett, because he's the real deal, kind of like they do with Willie Nelson. There you are with Willie Nelson.
Yes. Well, Willie, we had a very special evening with Willie Nelson. If we were doing his July 4th picnic in 1975 in Liberty Hill, Texas. And there was a terrific thunderstorm. So all 100,000 people had to run for cover. And, it was just thundering and lightning and pouring rain. And so they had all the artists go into these little trailers, talk about, home sweet home. Felt very familiar. And so while we were waiting for the rain to subside, they had to change the schedule around a little bit. So finally, when things started clearing up, they had to change the schedule and put the Pointer Sisters on before David Allan Coe. And so as they're singing, it's just about finishing raining and storming. And then it was our turn to go on stage, and the sky lit up. There were beautiful rainbow, and it was just like magical after that big storm. And while we're singing, Willie comes out on stage because David was singing his song, Whiskey River. And so he came and used our mic and sang with us on our mic to his song. It was quite a fun thing.
That is cool, huh?
Yeah. That was
Wow.
fun. To see that sky like pink, and it was really breathtaking how that's just all cleared up, and there we were. So we always say the Pointer Sisters opened for us.
They're amazing. I don't know if you saw the episode, but they were guests here on the show, Ruth and Anita, and they were hilarious. It was fantastic. Yes, the Pointer Sisters. Thousands of people have watched that episode on the Jim Master Show series, and we just had a ball. We absolutely had a ball. And Ruth lit up some sort of. She was in her penthouse, and she lit up some big thing and was lighting it up as she was on. And Anita goes to her, Ruth, what you got there? Is that a bong or something? Right, we're live on the air. It's very, very funny. It's a very funny episode. But we talk about their career, and of course they've lost family as well, so they can certainly relate to that, and other people that are watching, I'm sure, as well, on many different levels. You also, like I mentioned, the psychology part and the motivational speaking. When did that really start to take hold for you?
That started around 1994. I wasn't touring anymore. I had been doing Roy Clark's publicity. And I thought, I want to do something different. I want to use my expertise and what I studied. And so that's when I started writing Get Fired Up Without Burning Out. I'm just rewriting now a new version. So the one you're talking about is the original. And that was in around 1997 or 98.
Wow, that book has been in progress like that, huh?
Yes.
Wow.
And I wrote it really to try to dig myself out of the grief of losing my sister. And so it was very cathartic.
Yes.
And write a book about how do you get fired up without burning out,
Yes.
And I thought, I'm going to look for solutions. And so I did. And people would say, oh, would you come and speak at our conference and talk about what you're doing there and this book? So that's why I decided to finish the book. I was at a speaker conference, and a friend said, Carol, when are you going to finish your book, Get Fired Up? I said, I'm working. I just want it to be right. He said, it doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be done.
It has to be done in the book. Good? I think that's fantastic.
I wrote the fire out of it. What's holding me back? What's stopping you?
You, as the one-person powerhouse you are, like you say, we need to get fired up without burning out. In the book, you actually, and a lot of people say high impact, entertaining, motivating, genuine, fun, smart, memorable. You share an exclusive 3-step formula that actually works. So, you're actually able to get people to understand that through these simple solutions, they can overcome the obstacles and get results. And you don't sugarcoat, even in your presentations, your motivational speaking and in your workshops, you don't sugarcoat the real world. Even though you grew up with the circus people near you, you don't sugarcoat it. You give them practical steps so they can get and stay fired up, even during tough times, like we've experienced the last couple of years with, the pandemic and everything. That's a time where a lot of people, even people who don't normally say that they get anxious or depressed or have any necessary pressing issues, I think this really is something that has touched everybody on so many different levels. Tell us about the book and some of the things, the practical things, the takeaways that are in the book for the reader.
I think it's very important to keep things simple. And so I try to come up with 3 words that kind of can be reminders of how to keep fired up. And one is to reach into a different way of thinking. In other words, go beyond your comfort zone and your thought zone and just be open-minded to what other people may be sharing or knowing about. So reach into a new way to be and think. And that it reminded me of a song that I wrote called "You Can Reach or You Can Rust and See Your Dreams Just Turn to Dust, or you can break a change and make a change. Let perfection step aside." Can't believe I'm singing. There's no room to be roaming on this ride. Whatever you do, just remember, it's up to you. It's up to you if you want to give it all you got or hide behind excuses, fears, and doubts. It's up to you to go out there and be all you can be, 'cause you can make it happen starting now. Whatever you do, just remember, it's up to you. End of song. That's part
Beautiful too.
We got to reach into something different. Otherwise, we're going to be stagnant. And the next thing we have to do after we reach is to take risks. You know,
Yes.
it's so easy to just say no to everything. Like doing this is a risk. You know, I didn't know about if my technology would be good enough or you know, and compatible.
When
And
we started behind the scenes, folks, her picture was upside down and she was hanging from the chandelier. But she said, you know, she's going to get fired up and she's not going to get burned out and she's going to trudge through. And she did. She's a pro. And there she is in her beautiful living dining area.
my husband's help. Coleman
With the
Burke.
husband, yes. He was your fabulous production assistant today.
Oh, yes. He's terrific.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a wonderful story about how we met, because I had been traveling for so many years and I just had given up on dating. I thought, you know what, I'm happy just with my doggy and, you know, going all over the place speaking. So I just put that on the back burner and just said, I'm fine this way. And then I was in Office Max one afternoon waiting for printing. And this guy walks in. I said, now that guy looks familiar. And I'm sure I've seen him play somewhere. So he walked in and then he went in to get the line that he was going to check out. And I was in another line and the computer broke or he was checking out. So he had to get in my line. And I turned around and said, excuse me, aren't you a guitar player? And his eyes got real big and he said, yeah, that's what I do. I said, well, I have seen you play somewhere, I'm sure. And then we started talking about thinking who we toured with, who he toured with, and, you know, trying to figure out where I would have seen him. But so I gave him my card. He had just come back from Charlotte, where he used to live for a year, because he lived in Nashville many years. So he had just come back, so he didn't have a card yet, but he said, do you have a card? I said, yeah, I gave it to him. And I left. I thought, well, that was fun. I'll never see him again. I enjoyed that. And then that night I was checking emails and it said, met you in line at Office Max. I went, uh-oh.
Remembered, huh?
Yep. And that was 17 years ago, and we're still in love.
17 years ago. Wow. Congratulations, huh?
Thank you. So you just never know.
See, we call that lovity here on the Jim Masters Show. Lovity. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So you know that, yeah, I was going to say.
To reach and risk.
Yes.
Like he took a risk to get in touch with me, and I did him, and we got together. So anyway, we got to risk in life to move forward. Otherwise, we're just going to be just totally nonplussed and missing out on so much.
How did you work through, and it's not something that's ever complete, the passing of your sister?
Well, I knew it was coming. I had like 6 months to realize that she is really not going to get over this. And so I was kind of grieving for many months. knowing that she is kind of fading away. So that was the worst grief. Is she was here, but not really have hopeful. She didn't have a hopeful diagnosis. So I spent every minute I could with her, and that helped get me through. Is really being with her and then being on the road for so many years, 24/7. What a gift.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people get to travel? We went to Russia together with the Roy Clark Show in England and all over the United States in all kinds of venues, from the Tonight Show to so many different casino, big palaces out in Vegas, to little small fairs, where you have to change in a horse stall.
Right.
So it was just such an adventure, I must say.
There you are, behind the scenes in the makeup room of the Tonight Show. What was that like?
Oh, that was so exciting.
And that's when Carson was hosting, right? Johnny Carson?
Yep. And then we were on again when Roy was the guest host. He was one of the very first guest hosts of the Johnny Carson Tonight Show. Yep.
You know who we had on the show? He's been on twice. He's a fan of our show, and we're a fan of him. And again, the photo you're looking at, everybody, there they are. They're behind the scenes at the Tonight Show. That's in Burbank, right? They in New York? That was in Burbank. NBC Studios, Johnny Carson. And they're getting the makeup on because they're going to go on stage. What was that like when you stepped on the stage of the Tonight Show? You've got, Doc and the band, Tommy Newsom over here. You got Johnny Carson and McMahon over there. Then you've got the studio audience. It's NBC. It's the big time. The exposure. It's make or break for a lot of careers for people. That must have been exciting and invigorating, but maybe even a little nerve-wracking too.
Oh, it was. Because
all the above, right?
All of the above. We just thought, we better, just be on our game, top notch. And it was nerve-wracking and yet fun. Susan Sarandon was also on the show.
Susan Sarandon, yes.
And as a guest.
Yeah.
And so I think we did 2 songs, but it was so much fun to do the run through, and meet Doc and all these people.
Yeah.
And then
Fred DeCordova, the producer, Fred DeCordova too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let's see.
Letterman?
Dave Letterman was in the hallway because he was going to guest host the next night. So he came. Right. And so there he was, and my sister said, "Oh, David Letterman's down." And I go, "Yeah, right. I'm Princess Di."
Right. And there he is.
Yeah. I mean, it was so fun to meet him. He was very, very nice.
Yeah. The guest that we had on, who's been with us a couple of times now, he's a big fan, is John Davidson. The one and only John Davidson. And he, I think, still holds the record as the musician, because he's a singer, of course, too. And he's done everything, Hollywood Squares and talk shows, and he does everything. I think he's got the longest running reign of any musician who has hosted the show. John Davidson.
Oh, really?
The Tonight Show. Guest hosted.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Isn't that something? He mentioned that during the course of that's all during that time period,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We've got a couple of, look what we dug up here. Johnny Cash Buckle.
Yep.
Tell us about that.
We wrote him a song after we met him. We were just so blown away.
Yeah.
We went back to our apartment here in Nashville, and we just wrote the song. I wish I could remember it all. But then David Allan Coe took us in the studio so we could record that song and give it to Johnny. So we did. We went in and recorded it and played it for Johnny Cash while he was in the studio, and he got all teary. And he gave me a pocket knife, and he gave Sharon some beads he was wearing. And then we got this in the mail, thanking us. And then he said, "Oh, by the way, I'm doing a commercial for Victoria Station restaurants. Would you girls like to sing out of it?" Go, yeah.
Yeah, huh?
So that was very fun to get to sing with him too.
Wow.
Yeah,
Woodstock.
guilty. Yep,
Guilty.
I was
What now?
there.
What was that experience like? You were there and you lived to tell the
Right.
story.
Well, this is when we lived in
You were
God.
upstate New York.
Uh-huh. And it was so close. And my sister Mary Beth and I would have to work at Dad's camp, which was a ranch camp for primarily for underprivileged kids in New York City. So they would come up, and we had old hack horses, they call them, and they would learn to ride and learn to do things they couldn't do in the inner city. So on Sunday was Mary Beth and my day off. So we said, they got that thing up there that's about a half hour away. And it had been going on for about 2 days. So we said, why don't we just drive over there and see if we can even get in? So we drive up there, and it was no problem at all, even with 500,000 people there. We found a little place. I had my little Volkswagen, and we found a place to park, but it turned into a very stormy, muddy situation. So we only got to see 2 acts. I think it was Country Joe and the Fish and Joe Cocker. So we couldn't stay too long because we had to get back to work at the camp called Jubilee Ranch was the name of it. Anyway, so yes, I was there. I got that T-shirt, and it was the most peaceful, loving group of people who were all on the same page. They wanted to share music, and people were offering us watermelon, food, bottles of water. Everyone was just chilling and having a blast. And here comes the rain, so everybody's under blankets, and it was something I will never get over, I'm sure. It was just a wild, peaceful event.
Kind of like a real life-changing, self-reflective event, but yet
Yes.
self-reflective, yet with thousands and thousands of people all around you. It's an interesting sort of dichotomy a little bit there,
Exactly.
Yeah, it's really something else. We got this cool picture too.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny Cash. Wow.
All right, so this was in the hallway at Hee Haw. He was doing Hee Haw.
The Hee Haw. Now try to say that 5 times fast. The Hee Haw hallway. It's hard to even say once.
I know. And he was walking around with this little pig nose amp that's hanging there on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And he had a little microphone that was taped to his nose. And he would sing, and then he could walk through the halls and be singing. And he had this top hat. And,
what was Johnny Cash like?
He was very nice, very serious in a way,
Yeah.
That's Johnny Cash.
You could always sense that there was a serious nature to him a little bit. Yeah. In a good way. Serious. Yeah. He took things seriously. Yeah.
Yes, he did. He was just a great gentleman, and he was
real professional.
Strong. Very professional, yes, very strong, and he was a real icon.
Yeah. Who are some other folks maybe we haven't shown in these photos, but others you've had an opportunity to work with over the years that stand out for you?
Oh, let's see. Well, so many people came to the Hee Haw set, like Tommy Lasorda.
Oh, yeah, the Dodgers manager. Yeah.
Yes. And Linda Thompson, when she was married to Bruce Jenner at the time.
Oh, yeah.
So Bruce would come to visit her on the set, and that was interesting how that turned out. Then she went on to marry, what was his name? David, I forget. Foster. David Foster.
David Foster. That's right. Another prolific.
Yeah.
I heard that in the background. Foster. That was great. You didn't have to phone a friend. You've got your phone a friend right there.
I do. I'm so grateful. I believe me.
David Foster. I met him through my work with PBS. He's got a funny sense of humor. He's got a funny, dry sense of humor. He's very serious too, but he's got this quick, witty, dry sense of humor that's quite amazing.
Really, I never got to know him.
Yeah.
But Linda Thompson was a regular. She was Elvis's longtime girlfriend.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Ever any meeting with Elvis at all, or any of that entourage? No. Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
this is some people who used to sing with him, and
That sang with him, huh?
yeah, I'm trying to think of. There was also like a bass singer that I don't know if he's still among the living, but
Yeah.
we
have another photo here. This is The Thing Called Love. Tell us about this. Look at this. One of the movies in which Carol appeared, the romantic comedy, The Thing Called Love, co-stars Sandra Bullock and Samantha Mathis. You were in this movie.
I was. I
Whoa,
had,
that had to be cool.
Several parts, but they kept changing the script.
Did they?
And so, yeah, as they're going, they're writing and rewriting. Because the story, it's a very cute country story about writing songs, actually. And so I auditioned and I got the part. And so I got to hang out for about a week with Sandra Bullock and Samantha Mathis. And it was, I think, River Phoenix's one of his last movies. And one of Sandra Bullock's first movies. It's they still air it on, it's still available.
Oh yeah, The Thing Called Love, absolutely. What was it like being on a movie set? Now you're here, here we are, movies, and you've touched upon a lot of different areas.
It was amazing because they built this diner on Murfreesboro Road here in Nashville just as a set. So it was a functioning diner, but it was only for this movie. And then the storyline was taking place between there and across the street at the Drake Hotel and at the Bluebird Cafe. So my scenes were all in the diner since I was the waitress. And I had quite a few little spots of speaking, but they kept changing everything. So it ended up that I had one little scene with Sandra Bullock. She came into the diner in her pajamas to find this songwriter, Samantha Mathis, who was up in the middle of the night writing songs. And so I had to comfort her and say, she says, "Oh, I can't do this." And I said, "Well, it's that coffee that's keeping me up."
Yeah.
And that was about it. And then I was in another small movie called Changing Hearts with Faye Dunaway.
Oh, yes.
And Lauren Holly. And I was in the beauty shop. I was a beautician in that one. And so that was fun, but it was a very maudlin movie, I must say.
Yeah.
It was about a woman dying of breast cancer.
Mm.
And it was just so maudlin that, it didn't have to be all that. But anyway, and a lot of opera stars were also in the beauty shop as actors. So it was fun hanging out with different country music stars who happened to be in the movie. Did
you like the acting? Did that acting bug bite you, Carol Grace?
I liked it. And I'll tell you, the most surprising thing was that craft service. I didn't know what craft service was. And then they took us to this huge tent.
It's like a buffet, yeah.
Oh, with the best. I mean, they had everything from sushi to beef tenderloin, whatever you wanted, every kind of salad, every kind of dessert. I thought, wow, this is really something. It's not just a few sandwiches. This is flat out.
It's a full, exactly. Yeah, and you don't have to cook it or clean after either.
Right. So that was shocking, and then through the day, there's these huge carts of every kind of snack you could possibly want. So I thought, well, boy, this is very abundant.
Craft services, yeah, exactly. It's the food for the crew and the actors, actresses, talent to, when they break, to eat. That's I've been on commercial shoots and other documentary shoots where the craft service tables are there, and everybody, sometimes before they even start rolling, people get excited about, oh, what are they serving at the craft services? Before anybody's even done any work, they're like excited about the craft services. What's the food they're going to serve on set or in the studio for the crew and the talent and everybody? That's something. There are a couple of times where, depending on the budget of the project, where you do get, just a tuna sandwich and a cup of coffee, and that's about it. That's the that's the craft services.
Yeah.
Jen Barry's in Pennsylvania. She loves your necklace. She says, "I love your necklace. It's beautiful."
Thank you.
Tell us about it. It is nice.
Okay, I happened to a few years ago, my sister and the whole rest of the family all went to Aruba after the holidays for 5 or 6 days. And we'd go on these little walkways along the ocean, and somebody had made this. And it was very reasonable. I said, oh, wow. And there was only one like it, this one. So I said, oh, I'll take that. And I love the design of it.
Turquoise in the middle.
Yeah, I don't know what, it's just a beautiful stone, turquoise. And then it's just, it's hard to even define it, but it's such a good design.
Is it light or is it heavy? Does it have a lot of weight to it?
No, it's not too heavy, and it wasn't real expensive. But the design, I just thought, oh my heavens, because I love doing artwork myself, and so,
You do enjoy creating art, huh?
I do. For a while there, I was creating artwork and greetings for Blue Mountain Arts.
Oh yes, Blue Mountain, they're big.
Yeah. So I did that. I would do greeting cards where I do the artwork and write the inside. This says, "You are a gift." And inside it says, "It's not easy to find the right gift for someone who is a gift. I don't know how I could even measure all the good things you do and share to make this a brighter world. Just know that you matter so much to so many, including me." So stuff like that. And
That's
then
beautiful.
One about friendship, what a true friend is.
Oh yeah, show us the cover of that again.
I don't know if it's backward, but
no, it says a true friend. Yeah.
Yeah, a true friend. And then it says, friends come and go in life, but some make a special impression. And you wonder, what would you ever do without them? That's how I feel about you. Thanks for being my forever friend. So things like that.
Isn't that cool? Wow.
Yeah.
So that's another way that you express yourself.
Right. I went to a few little workshops because I thought, I think I could make some greeting cards that are as good as about what I've seen out there. So I tried and I sent them in to Blue Mountain, to the editor, and they put everything in testing.
Yeah.
So everything gets tested for months and months, and you never hear anything. Oh, forget it. And then I would hear this great news that they say, oh yeah, we're going to take 8 of those designs and your poems. And so, yeah, they're all over the world. There used to be in Cracker Barrel, sometimes some of them.
Oh yeah, the Cracker Barrel restaurants. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool, huh?
So that was good. And they also, my newer book is called Paw Prints of Wisdom, Life Lessons from Our Dogs. And they published this, and this was also in Cracker Barrels. It's also on Amazon. So if you know of anybody who has a dog or has lost a dog or who wants a dog, there's great lessons in here about persistence, unconditional love, friendship, patience, just great lessons, humor. I mean, pets can make us laugh. That they love to play and they love to just be with us unconditionally.
Where is yours right now?
Right. We have a kitty named Happy.
Do you? They love when dogs and cats end up popping in, and it happens
yeah.
all the time. Yeah.
Right. She may be at any moment. Yeah. But we rescued her. Oh,
did you?
Here she comes.
Oh, great. They're going to love this. Who do we have there, Carol?
This is Happy. Because she kind of smiles. Whoops. She kind of has a permanent smile. And that's what made us want to rescue her.
She doesn't have a Sybil complex. Did she go from happy to unhappy there?
Yeah. She didn't know what's happening.
See what's happening? Why are you lifting me up in front of these bright lights? I was sitting
Exactly.
there, I was sleeping, I was rolling on the floor with my little toy mouse, and you lift me up,
Right.
put me on the desk in front of these lights. What is this?
Right. So,
She's trying to give you the 15 minutes of
yeah,
fame.
no, she's a she helped us so much during this pandemic because she's very entertaining. And it's do you have any pets, or have you ever,
Oh yes, we
with all your
absolutely
travel?
have. Yes, we absolutely have. And my favorite, I think, of all of them is Sparky, who was an English Springer Spaniel. We had him for 15
Oh,
years and was such a wonderful dog, just very loving and affectionate and yeah, just really, really fantastic. Really
mhm.
cool dog. Absolutely. Yeah. How about you? You've got the kitty there. Are there others that, you know?
No, there was this book is about Cowgirl, who I was traveling all the time, and I didn't know how I was going to just work it out. But I had moved into a different place, a small condo, and I was the only one living there. They were just building this little complex. And so I had just moved in, and this beautiful kind of sheepdog lookish dog kept coming up to my door. And I said, what's with you? Do you have a home or what? And every day she come, like she's waiting. And so I gave her a hot dog one time. She just ate it so slowly and
Mm.
savored every bite. And then I thought, well, she'll go home. And then it was a February Friday night, and it was sleeting outside. And I went out to my car. I had left my glasses, and
Mm.
there she was, just sitting there in the sleet and snow. I said, look, if you will stay on the sheet, because I had all new carpet, I was just moving in. If you'll stay on the sheet all night, I'll take you to the vet tomorrow and make sure that someone's not looking for you. And, things like
Ah.
that. So um, I let her stay in all night. And I woke up the next morning and come downstairs. Sure enough, there she is right on the sheet. It was like she was agreeing that I want to be here, so I'll do what you say. So there she sat
That's
all
so
night
cool.
because she was full of mud and smelly.
Yes.
They were building. And so I took her to the vet, and they go, no, we don't know. She had a beautiful leather collar on. So I thought, somebody's missing this precious dog. And I told her, I said, Cowgirl, I have to travel a lot with my job, but I'm going to find a way to take you in, and I'll find babysitters and kennels and whatever I have to do. And I did. I found a woman who used to be an usher at the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, and I had Cowgirl in the car with me, and we stopped at a red light. She said, oh, I love your dog. And I said, oh, good.
She said it just like that, didn't she?
And I said, well, I'm looking for a part-time babysitter when I go out. Well, call me first. So I got her number. Her name was Sissy, and I would leave her with Sissy for weeks at a time sometimes. But it was worth having Cowgirl. She was wonderful. I had her for 11 years. And then when she lost her life, then I got another dog named Callie. So I talk about her in the book too, because that was another rescue. So these dogs really rescue us, don't you? Don't you think?
I do. Yeah. All animals do. Nature does in its way, in its beautiful way for sure. Absolutely.
This
We
movie,
have, huh?
Rescued by Ruby, is a great little sweet family movie.
Oh,
Those who
yes.
are watching who haven't seen it. Rescued by Ruby. I think it may be on Netflix, but it's just fabulous. Sorry to interrupt.
No, no, no. I was going to say we're talking about you performing and sharing the music and all. We also have a video here too, which is the one with you with a guitarist. I think you're in a church, maybe.
Yeah, that was the song we wrote and performed for our wedding.
Wow.
That was up in Cornwall, New York. In the Mid-Hudson Valley.
Yes, sure.
We got married in that church because it was close to the whole family.
What's
And
the
then,
name of the song?
I Found You.
Oh, wow.
I wasn't looking, but I found you.
But I found you.
So we wrote that and performed it. And that was really the only music we had in our wedding. And, you know.
But it's a very special song. And gang, we have the song right here. And yeah, we're going to share it. Carol Grace Anderson doing her thing. This is really a beautiful song, gang. Get ready. And here we go. And then we'll be back. You're watching the Jim Master Show live, gang. If you're enjoying this episode, give us a like, comment on the channel, and subscribe to the channel. We would love that. Here we go. Here's Carol Grace Anderson.
Life was rolling on, everything was going fine. I'd work at my computer late into the night, and I'd watch all my favorite TV shows, so contented being home alone. I wasn't looking for anyone at all. No, the last thing on my mind was someone new. I had no clue how far my heart could fall. I thought I had it all till I found you. Now we're here with friends and family to celebrate this day. We hope that God will guide us all along the way, learning how to love and understand. He'll reach out just when we need his hand. I wasn't looking for anyone at all. No, the last thing on my mind was someone new. I had no clue how far my heart could fall. I thought I had it all till I found you. No, I wasn't looking, but I found you.
How beautiful is that to perform that together, huh? At the wedding. Everybody's saying that was simply beautiful. Madeline Stone, our wonderful mutual friend, the fabulous Madeline Stone here. You may remember, gang, she was a fabulous guest on the Jim Master Show Live. If you missed that episode, check it out. It's archived on a YouTube channel. And Sharon Ferrara says, hey, everybody, Carol and I have been friends since 1962. She's in the house. She's here. Wow, isn't that something?
Yeah.
So she says hello as well. And beautiful from Sherry in Kansas and Merlin in Canada. That is a beautiful wedding song, and hearts from Sharon and everybody here loving this. That is really, really nice. That's a very special song, huh? When you hear it, what happens to you? You're transported to another time and place?
Yeah, you know, it was so easy to write because it just kind of flowed. And so Coleman just picked up his guitar and played this beautiful melody, and I wrote a lot of the words and the lyrics. And we thought, well, let's just sing this at our wedding. So
are you always writing? Are you consistently writing music for yourself and for others?
No, Coleman is always playing guitar. He does sessions and he tours here and there. You know, he's toured with a bunch of people. And so he's in the studio a lot. And now Coleman is my audio engineer when I do audiobooks.
You're
He's
doing audiobooks too, like voiceover audiobook narration?
narrating. We've done over 50 books.
Have
And
you?
he has his studio, and across the hall is my little closet that I have to go in the closet and close the door. So it's
Wow.
quiet. You know, it has to be absolutely quiet, you know. So I have to go in and close the door, and there can't be any air conditioning or heat because that would make a sound.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yes, right.
in the summer, it's not really fun to do that because I'm sure in that closet it gets over 100.
Yeah.
But they have these, it's called cooling towels that you can put around your neck. And so that's how we get through it. But he's a great engineer. You know, he's been around so many studios, and he's one of the best players, guitar players ever.
Beautiful voice too, singing on that, Carol Grace. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Is there something that you wanted to share with us now musically? Wanted to weave into the conversation that comes to mind?
Let's see. Here's just a little part of one. Inside every one of us, there's greatness to be born. Like a flower always starts with just a seed. Your life is like a movie upon the silver screen, but only you can ever play the lead. So make it happen for your dreams. Make it happen for your heart, right up to the end. Make it happen from the start. If you reach out and try and give it your best shot, make it happen for yourself. Give it all you've got. And it goes on and on, but that gives you a taste.
I like the way you say that. And of course, Jim, it goes on and on, but there's a little taste for you. And
Yeah.
Now this music, can that be purchased? That's what you're just saying there? Is that something? Or are these just your little nuggets and gems?
Yeah, I have a CD. When I was speaking so much, I would ship boxes of CDs and my books.
Yeah.
And so people in the back of the room after I spoke, they would have some connection. You know, I'd walk into a conference and they had no idea who I was. But after they heard me, then they said, oh, I want to take that book home with me. I want to take that CD. So, you know, I do have some CDs and a few books. I think you can get the Get Fired Up still on Amazon, and definitely paw prints, which is a great gift, I must say. And so yeah, I do like being creative, I guess.
And your website too, which is fantastic, carolgraceanderson.com is a fabulous website and talks about the workshops. It talks about your speaking engagements and motivational speaking and all of that fabulous fun stuff, which I think is terrific. So I encourage folks to go to the website. Also, in addition to that, we have here, let's see if we can surprise people and pull this fabulous thing up here. Let's see if we can do a little, yeah, there it is. We'll do a little magic here on the spot and we'll bring this on the screen. And this is just a quick little demo showing you Carol Grace doing what she does when she's doing the workshops and the motivational speaking and so much more. And this is that video that's on your website, and we'll show it to our audience so they can see more about that side of the incredible work that you do as you empower and you inspire people, Carol Grace. Let's take a look at that now, and then we'll be back with more with Carol Grace Anderson, extraordinary renowned singer, songwriter, motivational speaker, author, 10 years on Hee Haw, and so much more here on the Jim Masters Show live. She's coming to us from her beautiful home in Nashville, Tennessee. Here she is doing some of her incredible workshops and motivational speaking. Take a look and enjoy.
Let's give a rousing round of applause for Miss Carol Grace Anderson. There she is.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ultimately, every one of us in this room is the CEO of us.
Had a great session with Carol Grace Anderson, would recommend her. She got us all fired up. We were dancing in the aisles and some very memorable information that I can take back to work.
Now, if everyone would just raise one of your hands, would you raise a hand in the air? Okay, now the same hand, just reach a little bit further. There you go. That's what we're talking about. Thank you. You know, water, when it's 211 degrees, is real hot. But if it goes up 1 degree to 212 degrees, it's boiling. And by taking it that one step, water becomes something you can cook with. It becomes a sterilizer. It becomes a whole different thing just by that 1 degree. And that's what we're talking about. If we can just bump it up 1 degree, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. When we have fire, we have energy and passion. And that's how we can be fired up every day, is to have that flicker, that spark back. And did you ever notice how someone can brighten up a whole room just by walking out of it? Attitude. Attitude's nothing more than a bunch of thoughts. They could be positive or negative. See, it's what we think about. That's our perspective. And if we have a great attitude, it's something we can choose every day. Now is really all we have. Tomorrow's not here yet. And yesterday is gone. So we have this moment. And the more we live in this moment, the more we can be fired up. Another thing is to ask for help. All of you are going through so much change. We're going through change technologically, economically, all kinds of changes.
The key points were CAN, C-A-N, commit, act now.
But according to Wayne Gretzky, and I think it's a wonderful quote, we miss 100% of the shots we don't take. We're sure of that. And the third and very important is to refuel. We can't run on empty no matter how cool the car is. Can't do it.
The little analogies she uses is just great. Very motivational.
It had to do with everybody. I could see how it could relate to me also.
We need to laugh more because it's good for our whole system. And it's also very contagious. To prove it, when I count to 3, I want you to look around at the people at your table, and I want you to laugh as loud and hard as you can for 5 seconds. Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, go! You see how contagious laughter can be.
When she's talking about change, we all have difficulty facing that. And it's great that she makes it somewhat lighthearted in the process.
Reach, risk, refuel, keep fired up, keep in touch with each other, keep it going on.
I thought it was really good. She's very energetic, and you'd have to be motivated after listening to her.
When you look out the window, tell me what do you see? You're looking good. Is it blue, blue skies or just the blues? You hold the key. Oh yeah, baby, you hold the key to get your engine going. Now put it into gear and get your sweet self rolling. Forget the travel agent, baby, 'cause you hold the key. Love it, beautiful. Yeah. Oh, now what will it be? You hold the key. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, people.
Let this DIY mouthwash swish in your mouth to
Commercial. Rinse with your mouthwash. It's a good thing to do. Keeps you healthy, folks. You really love that. You're so in on it. You're in your zone. The adrenaline is going, and you're spot on, huh? You just love it.
Yeah, I do. I love it. And so much change with the pandemic. You know, there were no conferences, no flights, no nothing, no hanging
All
out with other
stopped.
speakers. You know, it was just stopped. And there's some pluses. People got to spend more time at home together. And, you know, some good things are coming out of it. But it was very hard for all of us to go through. That was a very serious, and we still are in a way.
It's still in.
So
Yeah.
much change. You know, we have to adapt. You know, we have to realize we're in a very different place than we were. So we're going to have to adapt and change. And change is not easy. But I remember a great quote by Arthur Ashe, the great
tennis player. Yeah.
where he says, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can.
Yes.
So simple, right? Start where you are, because we can't reinvent the wheel. We don't need to.
No.
But we need to just do a little step every day. That's like why refueling is so important. And one way to refuel is to just take a little breathing break and take deep breaths. You know, I try to do it at red lights. I'll sit there and go, oh, I hate waiting for red lights. Oh, good time to do some deep breathing. And it's free and it's available everywhere. We all need oxygen. So breathing is one way to do it, and getting a little exercise. I remember Dolly Parton said, they had asked her, what do you do when you feel like exercising, Dolly? She said, I lie down until I get over it. But we just have to.
It sounded just like her too.
We have to just realize that we all need a break. You know, there are people who are suffering, who are watching this, who are going through a lot of challenges, I'm sure. And you have to remember, you are not alone. There are people going through very similar challenges, and there are things going on around the world globally that are really at a peak that could be scary. So the thing is, what do we do about it? You know, and that's where refueling comes in. We got to take care of ourselves. It is not selfish, it's self-care. I mean, we can all, let's say this glass of water here, it's not very heavy, right? But let's say this is all the energy and everything I have, but I can hold onto this for several minutes, right? And maybe even an hour. But if I took this little glass of water and I didn't put it down for, say, 20 hours, you'd have to call the paramedics. Probably.
You'd have to.
You see, because when you put something down, you can refresh, you can refuel, but you can't walk around holding that much stress and anxiety. You have to take a break. And it's not easy to do.
No, it's not. That glass you just showed, if you can show it on the screen again. Now, does Carol Grace see that glass as half full or half empty?
I see it as one that can be refilled. I see it as half full and always can get more. There's abundance. You know, there's plenty of stuff. We have all that we need, really. If we look around, we are blessed. And another way to really feel that you are abundant enough is to make a list of everything going right.
Yes.
It's so easy to say, oh, we got
focus on the negative all the time.
World, but if we start a journal and just say, I'm going to have a gratitude journal, I'm going to just write down everything going right in my life, it'll switch your thinking in 2 seconds. And that's one way to keep fired up, is to look at what's going right. We all have challenges. Everybody. I do. You do. Everybody. You know, you look at a family and you may say, you know, they have a perfect family. Just dig a little deeper and you'll see that they have challenges too. We all do.
How has social media come into play with all of this? It's created some challenges and pressures, and, you know, a lot of it sped things up, and there's competitiveness with it. And just how do you look at all of that?
Well, I am so right-brained. It's hard for me technologically. Coleman is very helpful with that because he's very right and left-brained. But
and the influence on society, how it's changed society. How do you feel about that? Yeah.
And I mean, what would we have done without Zoom during the whole pandemic? And people are still having meetings via Zoom, or they're going to work.
Do you think there's drawbacks to social media sometimes if people are constantly on it and they're just doing that and they're
Definitely.
comparing themselves to what everybody else is doing. And
everyone's life is more exciting and more glamorous than mine. It's just, it can be very, very dangerous, because if we compare ourselves with, say, the Kardashians, we have to say, I am me and they are they. And we have to just realize that we're all different. We're all unique.
right.
And
I
yet
don't
we're
have
all
time to keep
girl.
up with them. I'm trying to keep up with myself.
Right.
I don't have time to keep up with them too.
Apparently they're so technologically savvy, apparently, because that seems to be how they're getting over. But it's sad that there aren't more one-on-one connections. And I think the pandemic had a lot to do with that, that we would have to just communicate over the phone, which is fine, but we don't get together and hug, and that's coming back.
You have a slice of apple pie at the same
Yes.
table, and
Yes, people have missed that. It's really been a loss, where we've all kind of had to huddle and isolate. Really, it's very isolating.
it really, really is. What were some of the things you were doing during it? Do you like to cook? We do have a bit of a foodie crowd here that watches our series.
Oh boy,
Sometimes we talk a lot about food. Did you
I
do a lot
love.
of cooking?
I do. I don't
Yeah.
do a lot of baking, but I love to cook. When I was a little kid, when we were living in the trailer park, my dad was the pastor of a church in Brooklyn. And after church, this little Italian lady named Mary Fortini would come and meet the family and say, "Oh, you come over for dinner today. Come on, you come to the house. We have dinner." And we would go to her flat up these flights of stairs, and you could smell the sauce from the sidewalk. And I'll never forget, we'd sit there literally for hours just eating the best. I was like 7, but I enjoyed that food that I'll never, ever forget. Just bowls of meatballs and pork chops and all that, and then bowls of pasta and salad, and then all the fruit, the fruit and cheese. And it was.
What's your specialty?
Mine is a thing that we call nana coloni chicken.
Ooh.
There was this woman from Newburgh, New York, in the Hudson Valley, and she wrote by hand a cookbook of her real Italian recipes. And so my sister Lynn and I each bought one for $10, and we have worn it out. So, I mean, it's just totally worn out. The pages are full. But so we make this chicken dish, which is absolutely amazing. And it's very easy to make. It consists of chicken thighs and legs, and crushed tomatoes, and sliced sweet onion on top. And that's it. And let it bake, and it is so fabulous. Oh my gosh. It's just it's flavored,
You can taste it now, can't you?
So I kind of tweaked her recipe a little bit and kind of made it my own. But it's just, it's also potatoes, quartered potatoes.
Ooh.
And you put them all together and just slather them with olive oil and crushed tomatoes and sliced sweet onion on top, and they get marbleized in the oven. So they're crunchy. I mean, it is really something else.
Now the lovely audience, they are drooling right now. They're very hungry. They're grabbing for crackers or nuts, peanuts, whatever they got around them.
Well, it's so easy to make too, really.
Yeah.
Very easy, and it's just yummy as could be.
Tell us about this beautiful room that you're in. You're not in the trailer now.
No, I'm not. Yeah, it's got very high ceilings. And they were just building this development, and I would drive up here, and so I was here the whole time they were building, and so I got to choose I hadn't even met Coleman yet. I was just taking this big leap of faith, saying, I don't want to move too many times, so this will be it. So I just gathered all the stuff I've collected from upstate New York and all, through my little travels, and put things up here and there. And Then
Yeah,
started,
paraphernalia from Hee Haw too that you've collected.
yes, I don't
Yeah.
have it right here in front of me, but I have a Hee Haw apron,
Wow.
which is very cool. And I'm sure I have other things from Hee Haw, but I have a lot of footage from Hee Haw because I had direct access. So I could walk around with my little camera and just take pictures of people in the hallway, George Jones singing in the hallway, making up a song, people in their dressing rooms hanging out singing. It's just astonishing what I was able to do because I had that access as a publicist. So it was fun to meet so many different people. And so I would collect all these things, and now I have a place to put them.
Now you have the place to put them. Exactly.
Yeah.
Jen Barry's in Allentown, Pennsylvania. She always asks the guest, do you love your Zen in the mountains? Do you find, because you are in Nashville, do you find your Zen in the mountains or the ocean?
That is a rough one. But I'll tell you, when we lived up at Jubilee Ranch in Godefroy, New York, we were in the Shawangunk mountain range. And we were along the Neversink River. And, you know, I have such great memories of fishing in that river all the time and swimming in the river. And so I really think mountains and rivers together would be my choice.
That is your
Love
choice.
the beach, but I mean,
Yeah.
there's so much going on when you got the mountain thing going on. And you can go,
Right.
you know, wading or fishing or boating. So how about
What-
you?
I love the mountains. I love all of it. I love nature. I love cities with skylines. I like the desert. I love all of it. I'm visual and my eyes are always open and I always soak everything in. And I'm a Libra, so I'm all about balance and harmony and just really, very in touch. I would say probably the ocean because of growing up out east on Long Island with it being surrounded by the water. And then, here along the coast as well, there's something about the rhythm, the tide, the strength that's larger than me. There's a constant movement, emotion to it. And the sun seems to rise from it and the sun sets in it. You can partake in it. You can boat, swim, surf, boogie board, sail.
Yeah.
And we do all of that. But you can also just sit there and listen to it and watch it. But yet it's larger than me. It's something larger than me, and it's vast. And it gives great pleasure as well. So the ocean for me is fantastic.
Powerful. What beach did you go to on Long Island or Jersey?
We on Long Island, let's see, on Long Island, we went to several of them. We Robert Moses State Park, which is on the South Shore, Heckscher State Park on the South Shore, North Shore, Crab Meadow Beach, which is on the north, Sunken Meadow State Park, which is on the North Shore as well. The North Shore is the Long Island Sound, South Shore is the Atlantic. And then sometimes further out east, along the South Shore where the Hamptons are, Southampton,
Oh, yes.
East Hampton and
Montauk.
West Hampton, Montauk, beautiful Orient Point, which has the ferry that goes from the very tip, Long Island jets out and then
Yeah.
splits at the end. You have the North Fork, the South Fork. South Fork is Montauk, North Fork. The very point of that is Orient Point with beautiful little villages. You think, the further out east on Long Island you go, you think you're in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. It's because Long Island isn't part of New York City, even though some people think it is. It's separate. It's part of New York State. So the further out you go, it looks like Cape Cod. And Orient Point has the ferries that run back and forth between Long Island, New York, and Connecticut. There's the one that goes from Orient Point, New York to New London, Connecticut. And then there's the other one further in that goes from Port Jefferson, Long Island, New York to Bridgeport, Connecticut. And that's beautiful going across the Long Island Sound
Yes.
between Long Island and Connecticut. It's really It's really nice. Yeah.
Yes, my brother Jimmy, who's a great videographer, he does that for the networks, and he
Oh, yeah.
lives right on the Long Island Sound.
Oh, yes. Well,
Yeah,
well, Sharon says she went to Sunken Meadow State Park growing up, and she grew up on Long Island and Huntington. Yes, I know.
yes. And I
I,
met her. Her church group came up to the camp for a weekend retreat, and so that's how I met her. We were both little whippersnappers.
she said 10 years old. You guys were 10. I mean, that's what you
No,
think.
I think we were
10.
16. But anyway, it's been a long time.
That is something else, I tell you. Why do you love doing what you do? And what comes first for you? Is it the music? Is it the motivation? Through the music, you're motivating, inspiring as well. I think your compass is inspiring, empowering, connecting, creating. And through that, the greeting cards, the motivational speaking, the writing of these very powerful books, the music, the performing of the music, the entertaining, the writing of the music, but all of it filters back to the heart and the soul for Carol Grace, right? These are offshoots of a central way of being and thinking, the essence of who Carol Grace Anderson is, I think.
I guess so. I haven't thought about it that way, but I've been so focused on these audiobooks. So in a way, it's a voice acting, it's performing someone else's words. And I really enjoy that. I do primarily nonfiction.
Is your book on Kindle? Is your books audiobooks?
Not yet. I have to do that. I've been doing.
You're so busy doing everybody else's.
Right. Right. And I did try a few novels. That was very, very challenging.
Yes.
8 or 9 different characters.
Yes. I haven't done those yet. I've done a ton of voiceover work over, the years. I've done a lot of voiceovers for television stations, radio stations, promos, a lot of voiceovers for narration, documentaries, medical, and sometimes the medical jargon could be really tough, some of it, and some of the scientific stuff. Yeah, a lot of tongue twisters, and but that's a lot of fun too, using the voice for those kinds of things, commercials and everything as well. But then there's also animated characters. That is video game characters and cartoon characters. That's a big area, and it's very lucrative.
It is. Are you familiar with Larry Kenney?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
We've been friends for years, since he was on WHN. He was a DJ.
WHN, yes.
So we're still friends, and he's been doing so many commercials throughout his life,
Yeah.
And then he did, what was it, Bowling for Dollars in New York?
Yes, that's right. Yes. Was that on Channel 11 or Channel 5 or Channel 9?
So.
One of them. Speaking of, going back in time, look who's with us. Mr. George Burns is here. George Burns always pops in, and he's got a cigar, and he's got his red pocket square, and he just wanted to say hello. He absolutely loved this conversation. We've chatted for an hour and 40 minutes.
Wow.
Does it not? It doesn't seem like that, right?
No, it does not.
It's what every guest says, and that's perfect. I'm glad, because I try to, I don't call these interviews, I call them conversations.
Yes.
And I try to make it warm and inviting, and Cavett, Carson, sort of that Merv Griffin, Mike Douglas, Regis style with a modern flair. So he said he absolutely loved the music and the conversation, and he said you knocked it out of the park. My aunt collected dolls. She collected the George Burns doll, and it got passed down to me, my cousin Barbara. So he pops on, and he sends his love. He usually hangs out down below. He's got a martini there, and he hangs down below. So there's, you got some love coming in from George Burns, huh?
All right. Carol Gracie.
Carol, with great. That's right. You're the best. Lots of blessings and joys in your life. I mean, you've been through things in your life, the ups, the downs, the triumphs, the tragedy, like everybody does, but you still have this thirst for sort of entertaining the troops, which is really everybody, for keeping us together. And that's what I love doing. That's what one of the reasons why this show exists, with all the other work that I do that keeps me really crazy busy. When then I created this show 2.5 years ago to bring people together, to entertain, to laugh, to have fabulous guests like you come through and sort of leave the room better than we find it. And it seems like that's what you like to do too. You really like to, get to the heart of the matter and touch people's hearts and souls.
I do.
Yeah.
And just like I've been touched by so many who also are inspiring,
Yes.
And so I just like to share what I can do for inspiring others. And many have
Exactly.
inspired me. My dad
Yes.
was a great speaker, and so
Was he? Yeah. So maybe some of that is what rubbed off on you as well.
I think so. My uncle was, my dad was. So
Yeah.
I mean, it just came. My grandfather was. Yeah.
And you've always been juggling so many different things because you were surrounded by the circus
Just-
people
I
when you were a
thought I
kid.
wanted to-
Right. You are an acrobat and juggler, even though you didn't necessarily get trained for that, but you had that exposure when you were a kid with the circus people all around you, which is amazing.
That was
And
so
perfect
fun.
training, because life is a circus sometimes.
It
It
really.
is a circus sometimes.
We have to keep our sense of humor.
Yes. And sometimes people are animals. So you had early training on how to work through it all.
Exactly.
Carol, Grace, you're amazing. And I hope you enjoyed the time with me as much as I have with you. This was extraordinary. Music, laughs, poignant moments, great conversation, some depth in there as well, and inspiration. And I love that. You're welcome back anytime. We're going to keep that porch light on for you and spread the word about our series and our show. And I truly hope you enjoyed the time with me as much as I absolutely have with you.
I enjoyed it immensely, Jim. I hope I get to come back.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. As we know, it takes a village, everybody telling everybody. And, as our show just has blossomed. And I just think it's really fantastic to have people like you who really.
Oh, thank you. Well,
Yeah.
you're doing a great thing, really.
I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Trying to bring back the lost art of conversation, and sort of bring people together and have some fun at the same time. Madeline says, I grew up in Hewlett, Long Island. There's a lot of Long Island in the house today.
Yes.
A lot of East Coast, a lot of New York.
Yep.
Yeah. That's really, really cool. Good
Yep.
stuff. Well, this was fantastic. Did
Thank
you eat dinner already?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I had half a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
After this whole chicken dinner you just described?
Oh, my God.
I bet you wish you had some of that left over in the refrigerator right now, huh? You'd heat that up quick.
Yes. And, it's just so easy to make that. And people can reach me. They can do the contact thing on my website, by the way, is being updated
Yes,
to
right.
reflect the audiobook deal.
Cool.
So when that gets going, I'll come back on if you'd like, and we'll talk more about the new one.
Your
So right now,
website and some more music and cool stuff.
I'll get back on Facebook. I was disabled. I was hacked, and Facebook disabled my whole account.
Really? Instead of just like having a change password or whatever, they disabled the whole
Did
thing.
that. Yep. Somebody hacked in and posted something about child trafficking or something very untoward. And luckily, Facebook came in and said, "Whoa."
Right.
So-
that's not. Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't have enough personnel to really
No,
check it out say,
to
"Oh,
keep
thank
people right, to keep
So
the
I-
riffraff out. Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm going to be rejoining. So anybody,
Cool
if you
stuff.
see me asking to be, it'll be me.
You're-
It'll really
that's-
be the real.
Sharon says, terrific show. Thank you, Sharon. And she also says you're one in a million. And what a fun conversation this has been, seeing all the incredible people you've worked with. So many people. And if you missed any, folks, we showed a lot of incredible photos in the beginning of the incredible people she's worked with and the group she was in, Lady Smith. I mean, she's Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. I mean, it goes on and on. Mickey Dolenz and Willie Nelson and Roy Clark, and you can watch this again. But it really was a trip down memory lane on so many different levels. And Merlin says, Carol and Jim, it's been a pleasure meeting you, Carol Grace. Take care. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And everybody watching got the best. This is the Lovities watching from around the world. The Lovity. You're now a Lovity too. They already said you're a Lovity.
Yeah, I love it.
Isn't that
I
cool?
love it.
There's Grammys, Tonys, Tellys, Peabodys, Emmys, and all these great awards and Oscars. But how does it feel when you get determined to be and destined to be a Lovity on the Jim Masters Show Live? Most people say their feet tingle. Are yours tingling right now?
Well, let's see.
They're tingling. One of our guests said that he was levitating as a result.
That's wild.
You're the best, my friend. So wonderful to have you here on the Jim Masters Show Live series. Please spread the word for us. Let everybody know they can see this archived on our YouTube channel, and we will keep the porch light on for you. You're a wonderful person doing beautiful work, Carol Grace.
Thank you so much, Jim.
The pleasure was all mine. We'll see you again soon, okay?
You got it.
Thanks for stopping by Lovity Hall.
Right, perfect.
Now go get that peanut butter sandwich. Make it fancy. Toast the bread. That's it.
My husband's bringing me a glass of wine.
Oh, there you go. Isn't that great? You just see a hand come in with the wine. That's fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah, that is.
Guy.
I tell you, he's got you covered. He's got you plugged in, and then he's got you hydrated. It's perfect. That's it. Good thing, good thing it's all about Lovity, because that's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Love is the key to everything. Love matters most.
Carol, Jen says, Carol, you are now a Lovity. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Carol Grace, thanks for gracing us with your presence once again. And you be well. Enjoy that sandwich with the wine. Peanut butter and wine. That's something new. Is there any cheese around?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I think
it.
we'll bump it up a little bit too.
You'll pump it up.
Maybe a little cheese sandwich.
That's it. We're gonna have dinner at Carol Grace's house and have that chicken soon. We're gonna head to Nashville to see all our friends. You be well, my friend.
You're always welcome. Let us know.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. If you're back here in the Northeast, let me know. And then if I'm coming through Nashville, absolutely, I will. In my travels. You and Jane's watching in Sweden. It's just thanks, Carol, for an interesting life story and music. Thanks, Jim, for a great show. You're very welcome. Jane's watching in Sweden, where it's very late.
Yeah.
Dedicated Lovity. They all are. You be well again, my friend. Take care, and thanks for all this great time and conversation. We'll see you again soon.
Pleasure was mine. Cheers.
Cheers. Actually, I have a mug. Mine has hot chocolate in it. It says Libra. My birthday was September 24th, and this came from Crystal Nolan, who lives in Connecticut. She sent me a whole box of birthday gifts. She's always great with that. And this one, you can see it there. It says Libra.
Oh, yes.
It's a really beautiful mug, so I'm using that now. We had some hot chocolate that's now cold chocolate with a little whipped cream that was in there. So let's toast.
That's the way to have.
We'll toast to Lovity.
Ka-ching.
There we go. Ka-ching. Perfect. Yes, you've earned that sip. Yeah, hits the spot, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
That's it. You be well, my friend. We'll chat again soon and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much for this.
Oh, you're welcome. And our friend Madeline Stone, who's lovely, huh? She's amazing. We love her too.
Wonderful.
Absolutely. And everybody watching the show. Take care, and we'll see you again soon.
All right, you got it.
Cheers.
Uh-huh.
Carol Grace Anderson gracing our presence here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Prolific and renowned singer and songwriter extraordinaire, motivational speaker, author, narrator, and so much more. She's got a lot. I thought I had a lot of things happening, but remember, she grew up in the trailer with all the circus people around. So she's learned how to be an acrobat, how to balance, how to juggle a lot of things, which is cool. If you joined us late, Go back and watch this in the archives. For 10 years, she was on the legendary TV series Hee Haw. Everybody knows that series. She, of course, was in Ladysmith, the group. Yeah. And we talked about all these, including this one here. Matter of fact, we should bring her back. We have to mention this one before you go. That's Peter Bogdanovich, right? Oh, there she goes. Did you see her? Did you see her face? She's back. There she is. So tell us about that photo. Can you see? Oh, your audio disappeared. You could hear me, right? I see something moving behind her. I wonder if that's the cat. Don't you see something moving behind her? So that's there she is with the incredible Peter Bogdanovich. I keep saying it the other way. Peter Bogdanovich. He is amazing. And this was, of course, from the movie that she showed us earlier, which was The Thing Called Love, which she was in with Sandra Bullock. And that's incredible. Look at that, huh? That's Peter Bogdanovich. Say that 5 times fast, gang. So after you've been talking for 12 hours straight like I have today. So there she is. And that's from the movie, The Thing Called Love. And you can see that movie. You know, you can dig for it. Getting makeup behind the scenes at the Tonight Show on NBC with Roy Clark in Las Vegas, Mickey Dolenz, Jimmy Buffett. It's incredible. And of course, a wonderful motivational speaker. Now, she's written several books. This book here is one that we showed, Get Fired Up Without Burning Out. Really terrific. Carol Grace Anderson, right here on the Jim Masters Show, Entertainment Lifestyle Variety Talk Show series. Gang, thanks for joining us. We're going to scoot out. Got a very busy day tomorrow. We have 2 shows tomorrow, gang. Just want to let you know, little programming note. Coming to us live from England, the 1990s chart-topping Northern Irish English pop, rock, and dance group. Dream's going to be here. They have reunited, and they are producing a lot of new music, and they're going to be joining us tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, 8 p.m. in the United Kingdom. Yes, and then tomorrow night, this is double lovity, gang. We have 2 shows on Saturday coming up for those that are watching live right now. If you're watching this episode 6 months from now, this is old news, but Shonda Tripp's going to be with us, author of She Was Healed, founder of Love from Music City. Of course, you know Music City, USA. She's got an extraordinary story of life, death, despair, and healing with her book, She Was Healed. Never before told stories she's going to share with us, and it's really going to be amazing. So tomorrow we got 2 shows, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. Doreen coming to us, the 1990s chart-topping pop, rock, and dance group can be with us tomorrow. That is at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, 8 over in the UK. Then tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, Shonda Tripp is here. She's extraordinary. Coming up on Monday, Manil Lely is going to be with us, founder of Lil Mixins and author of The Baby and the Biome. Her story about her son. She's a medical researcher, Wharton School graduate, and she is also in addition to that, she is a researcher and an engineer, and she wrote this book, but she was on a mission to find out what was causing her son's ill health and allergies and asthma. And it's really a riveting, very emotional and powerful story. And that's on Monday. And then on Tuesday, now, this is at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Tuesday, this is earlier. This is 4 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday, 4 p.m. And that's 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Michael Shapiro, renowned composer extraordinaire. He's been working on incredible projects and fabulous music for film, for television, for stage. He's worked with some of the incredible orchestras of our time. He's composed some of the most incredible music, and he just did a new score for the legendary 1931 film Frankenstein with a live orchestra too. You know, of course, you know the original Frankenstein, right? He has a brand new score for that. And it's going to be amazing. And we're going to have that and a lot of surprises with renowned composer Michael Shapiro joining us on the Jim Masters Show Live coming up on Tuesday. Yesterday, Jonathan Antoine was here, singing sensation, classically trained British tenor. He was on Britain's Got Talent. If you didn't see that episode, that a lot of people are seeing it, and that was aired yesterday. Check that out right here for you on the Jim Masters Show Live. Gang, thanks for being with us. A real pleasure to have you here. We thank you for your time this time. Till next time, we say see you later. Ciao, cheers, shalom, hasta la vista. We say moi loop, be well, sayonara, and don't forget to love one another and take care of one another and just be good to yourself. And Colleen is here. She joined us as a lovity yesterday when Jonathan was here. That one I need to watch, my son. This is fantastic. This is gonna be right for you. That's on Monday, that show. Thank you to Maureen. And Colleen says, love these backstories of overcoming. Absolutely, Colleen. So do I. Absolutely. Your favorite movie? What's up, Doc? Oh, yeah, the Peter movie with Ryan O'Neal and Barbara Streisand. That is very funny. That is a hilarious one, too. Thank you, Jane. Colleen, you're a Jim Masters Show lovity. So nice to be back and so nice to have you here. Spread the word about our show. And she says, yes. I love it. And you're a research too, and Nano. That's cool. So you're going to love that episode coming up on Monday. Thanks to Maureen and Jen and Jane and everybody here on the Jim Masters Show Live. We will see you again soon. We're going to scoot out. Really terrific having you here and having Carol Grace Anderson joining us on the Jim Masters Show Live. Take care, gang. We love you all. It's always a pleasure to have you here. Don't forget to give this episode a thumbs up. Give us a like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment on our YouTube channel. That helps us grow. Right under the episode, hit that thumbs up, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. We would absolutely love that. And when you do, don't forget to hit when you subscribe, there's no cost for that. That's free. But make sure you click the notification bell icon that's there so you never miss any of the episodes that we have. So you can partake and you can participate in the shows that we do here on the Jim Masters Show Live on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Lots of nice comments still coming in here. Thanks, gang. Always a pleasure to have you here. We love you back, Jen, in Pennsylvania. I cheer people on. Thank you. Spread the word about the Jim Masters Show Live. We love that. Until next time as well. And we'll be back. Double Lovity tomorrow. 2 shows, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, with the 1990s chart-topping Dream pop rock dance group. They're going to be here. Special guests tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, Shonda Tripp's going to be here. And that's going to be quite amazing as well. All right. We love you all. Take care. Be well. Don't forget to take care of one another. Love one another. And don't forget to love yourself. It's so important to do that. All right. I'll be right here waiting for you. We've got some pizza coming, I heard. So that's exciting. It's not quite that chicken dinner that Carol Grace talked about. That recipe I'm hungry listening to that. But we're going to have a couple of slices of pizza. And wherever you are watching around the world, thanks for being with us. It's always a pleasure to have you here. I'm Jim Masters, your host and producer, saying be well. We'll see you next time on the Jim Masters Show. Cheers.